Was interrupted briefly, so sorry. Coming back again. Welcome to BTV. I was talking about the Cavs and the Warriors. Rockets, unfortunately, they put up a good fight, but let's be honest, Mike D'Antoni teams never fare too good anyway. Not when it comes to championships. Right? Not when it comes to championships. So, it wasn't bittersweet. I'm not a real James Harden fan. I was a Chris Paul fan, but Chris Paul, to see Chris Paul and this being his first Western Conference Finals and not being able to be there game 6 and 7. Wow, if you're a Rockets fan, you're kind of a little bit bitter about that. Because that's been a knock on Chris Paul. I say the last 8 years, as him being able to get to a Western Conference Finals, and him being able to be injury free the whole time there. And that didn't happen. So he's up for another. I think Houston can offer him 200 and some odd million, just like the Clippers could have or did, and he didn't take it. I don't think if I'm Houston, I would do that. I wouldn't offer him that much money. I don't think Chris Paul is worth that much. Not right now. Prior, yeah. Not right now. Not right now. I think that he has his time is not up. I'm not gonna say it's up, but I think Chris Paul needs to be not the second option, maybe the third option on a team. And that's to preserve his health more so than anything. Him being the first option, he didn't been the first option. He was the second option this year. It is time for him to just, have fun with the game of basketball. I'm not saying that he hasn't had fun, but him not being the facilitator all the time. Let's keep it 100. James Harden did not have a real good series those last couple of games. They've been getting on Kevin Durant, but James Harden was not. His points was there, but I think he was inconsistent. His three couldn't fall. And I think within the Rockets, thank God that you did have Eric Gordon, Trevor Ariza, even Clint. Clint was hurt coming off that game 7 because he thought they was going to win. They at home, whole 9 yards. But Chris Paul, I think that was a bad look. Me personally, I think that was a definitely bad look. What else? And we back here, Bron Warriors. Everybody is going to give Bron an excuse when the Warriors win. They're going to say Bron didn't have anybody. But, so, me personally, I wanted the Celtics to win. Just because I felt like it would have been a better series. Warriors and the Celtics. But we're playing Bron. And I think by far this should be the last time these two meet in the finals. Bron going to another team per se, but that's the last time I think you're going to see Warriors in Cleveland in the finals. And yeah, so I got the Warriors winning in 5. I want to say a sweep. I don't think a sweep is going to happen, but I got the Warriors winning in 5. Um, yeah. So let's get on to what everybody's been talking about. Everybody's been talking about this Pusha T and Drake beef. So let's get on that. Oh man. Okay. Pusha T's album came out last Friday. He had a song on there called Infrared where he takes shots at Drake. Um, I think Infrared was. I'm gonna give you a breakdown of Push album real quick. I think Push album. I don't think it's the best album that came out this year. No, I don't. I don't think that. I think the beats is incredible. But let's keep it 100, bro, with Push. And I was on Push. Okay. Favorite Push song is Alone in Vegas. I love Alone in Vegas. Um, the song is hella dope, bro. Let's keep it 100. The song is that CD. I think is up there. In a man's game, when you're spitting, everybody didn't have a rap battle. I know I didn't have a couple. You know what I'm saying? Just with my friends, and I know with them knowing me knowing them, some of the shit that was said, even jokes, you take the motherfuckers personal. So on Infrared, I felt like it was gonna start something. It was gonna start something. Push already had a plan. Drake comes out with Duppy, and Duppy was hilarious. Drake did that in about 48 hours. Pusha T then responds back with the story of Adonis. And on some real shit, I didn't like it. I don't like the story of Adonis. um, in war, excuse me, in war, you're supposed to make the enemy weak and then go for their throat. Right? That song, everybody, I think, yeah, it was disrespectful. I can't lie to you. The story of Adonis is real disrespectful. But, real talk, Drake shouldn't even. I'm not a Drake fan either. Okay, I think his hits. I think he got some nice ass hits, but I'm not a Drake fan. Okay. And if you want me to be honest with you, okay, I'm gonna be honest for a second. Okay. In my opinion, everybody liked Back to Back. I felt like on some real shit, I felt like Meek won that battle. I know everybody is about to be like, what the hell are you talking? I feel like Meek won the battle. Reason being is because Meek put it out there already to the world that Drake wasn't writing his own rhymes. Now, sure indeed, I believe that Drake did write Back to Back in the disses. So I don't believe he had a ghostwriter for that. I don't. So that kind of took from my book, points away from Drake when I found out that. And that was Meek Mill. Now, Back to Back is just hella funny. It's hella funny. Let's keep it real. It's hella funny. Um, and that overweighed Meek telling the truth. So what I get is, as long as something is funny, right? If something is funny, if two rappers come out and one has facts and the other one is funny, well, the funny one is gonna win. But what about the facts? Okay, it's all upon the consumer. Consumer, like that one. So I felt like, in my opinion, Meek, I know he did not come back after that, but I just felt like, hey, he put that shit out in the air, and Drake had no other choice but to go as hard as he did on Back to Back. He had to. In this situation, and the lyrics was up there. I'm not saying that Drake did not. Man, that Back to Back is crazy. But with this push, one of my friend, diehard Push fan. Like I said, I was on Push, but I feel like, to a certain extent, within this beef, or this lyrical battle that they got, I feel that Drake got the best of it, because you're almost thinking that that Push T can sit up there and handle his own on the mic. But with Drake, we haven't seen, this is kind of new. So he's stepping out of his comfort level. I don't remember too much of Drake. I don't remember too much of Pusha T really getting to disses with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember. Now, maybe subliminally, but I don't remember him ever calling out anybody's name. So I think that, and let's keep it 100 for a second. Can we be fair to this? Can we just really be fair? I feel that basically that Drake is the better overall artist. So when I hear Duppy is hilarious. When I hear the story of Adonis, I don't know, man. It's something about that it doesn't feel right. I don't know. I've heard it about 3 or 4 times. Um, let's see what else he has. That's what I'm interested in seeing. But why are you dissing Drake? I would love to see you diss somebody in your weight class, because Drake is not a battle rapper. Drake makes good songs. He's gonna make a great ass album. He's not a battle rapper. So, and big ups to Drake for putting himself, saying, "Well, fuck it, I'm gonna go. I'm not scared." And I think that's big, because usually, megastar of that capacity, as far as Drake being, he didn't have to say nothing to Pusha T. You know what I mean? He didn't have to say nothing to Pusha T. So for him to do that, like I said, that's big ups. I think Pusha T's been waiting, because he has maybe some songs in the stash, or whatever the case may be. But why pick on him? there's a lot of artists I would love to see Pusha T sit up there and be to spit on. Drake, nah. I would love to see maybe Drake and Kendrick. I can't lie to you. Um, Whereas I think Kendrick is overrated. Sorry, y'all. I think Kendrick Lamar is overrated. Big up to Kendrick though. He did get a Pulitzer Prize. You know, that was weird or whatever the case may be. You know, so I don't know, man. It's just one of those type of things where that situation kind of it's one of those things where it's like, okay, what does this do? You know what I'm saying? What and like what's the gain from that type of beef? You know what I'm saying? What's the gain? Because they're in two different weight classes. You know what I'm saying? They're in two different weight classes. So what would be the gain from this? I think Drake has more to lose than what Push does. Because if Drake loses this battle, then I don't think it's not. I don't think Push has can be able to end his career. It would take somebody like Kendrick, somebody with the same star power to be able to kill Drake. You know what I'm saying? His career. I don't think Pusha T or Kanye West good music has the that's not their type of MO. So I don't see that happening. So like I said, what is this? Just a lyrical battle? Like what's the point? What's the point of it? So uh, you got that going on. So another thing, relationships. Let's talk about relationships here for a second. And when I mean relationships, I'm not talking about just your man and female relationship. I'm talking about relationships all over the board. Friends, cousins, brothers, sisters, all types of relationships. So, when you think about relationships, knowing in a relationship, you're going to have ups and downs, right? It's like it's the same concept of being on a team, a basketball team, which you see on my hand, the Golden State Warriors. They're a team. Yes, there's 12 individuals on that team, and they come together for that team. There's no individual that's bigger than that team. Okay? So, when you have a relationship, you have to understand that there's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times. Good times, there's nothing to learn from the good times. Good times, if you think about it, don't even count. Because the reason why they don't count is based on there's nothing that you can do when you're winning to critique where you're weak at because you're winning, right? Okay, so now, if you happen to lose on a professional basketball team, football team, soccer team, whatever, you can go back and your team around you, you can say, hey, look, this is where you need to get better at. This is, you know, today's world, if you tell somebody that, they will get mad at you. So right then and there, just right then and there, by having a conversation with somebody, if you say, hey, you know what? You're doing this and this is affecting me. Sometimes if the person is not there mentally, If you are dealing with somebody that's there mentally, then two people can explain, hey, look, then what is it that I need to do? And then therefore that brings up a conversation of how you can change and how we can get back to winning. I think losing is critical because if you don't lose, right, if you don't lose, you will not be able to appreciate that win. So, and that's what makes winning better is the fact that you lost. I'm going to use a reference here, Michael Jordan. Um, Michael Jordan, I'm not a big Michael Jordan fan, but when I was growing up, I remember seeing Michael Jordan lose. He lost to the Pistons. Um, I remember them getting a player by the name of Scottie Pippen. I think Scottie Pippen's first year they lost, and I think that second or third year they won. They finally beat the Pistons. Now, the reason why I use that and Jordan became the legacy of Jordan just went on, right? It took off. The reason why I say that is because as people and as a team, you're going to go through an obstacle course. And that obstacle course is life. And every ride is going to be different. Sometimes you're there for the ride to help. And sometimes you need help during a ride. So sometimes, right, communication becomes very key into a team. So, for example, football, basketball, if you move away from, if you move out of position, you put a teammate in a bad situation. So, if you can't talk to your teammate, then what is there to do? Now you're out there on a field and you're saying, hey, look, I put, I'm out here by myself. I done seen you went over there. And nah, that person doesn't want to hear that. It's about them. In a relationship, you're going to have somebody that's strong. You're going to have somebody that's weak. Those components you have to identify, right? And it varies because there might be a situation to where you're weak and I'm strong, and I'm weak and then you're strong. It's almost like parenting, right? You have two parents in a house. When one parent is weak, that other parent should be able to step in and take full control and full responsibility while that parent clear their head or whatever the case may be. That's the exact same way that relationships, right? Relationships, they have to work. So how can you have a relationship if you can't communicate in a healthy manner? And there's a lot of ways that you can communicate, especially now. For instance, you can write a letter, you can email, you can text. Those are all forms of communications that you can use. I don't think one should sit up there and have to go talk to the person. Sometimes there will be a fear of, on both sides maybe, but that's a conversation piece. See, nowadays people have social media. So if I have a problem with you, then I go put it on social media. I don't even bring it to you. Well, what do you call that? That's passive aggressive. If you have an issue with me, bring it to me. Why do you need to go on social media? What is that going to do? Tell me you going on social media with an issue with somebody. What is that? What does that do? To me, that makes the person look weak. Because how can you go on a how can you how can a person say, well, not say, I don't want to say, but how can a person put something on social media and not bring it to that person? That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. To diffuse that, you're supposed to always go to that person. It should never be a reason why. I think that's why how gossip and he say and she say stuff happens, because a person will have a conflict with somebody. Instead of bringing it up to that person, they go tell it to their friends. They go tell it to this person. They go tell it to everybody but that person. So when that person gets into that circle, what happens? What winds up happening? Now that person is in like, well, this person say this person say this person say that, and that's men and women. That's just not a trait that women have. It's just not a trait that men and women. I've been in situations where men and women did that, right? So that's not that's not that's not it. But it's just weird that that's the time that we live in, and it's acceptable because people will put like to it. That person ain't even brought it up to that person. So now you got likes, and like, I don't get it. So to diffuse all that, if you have a problem, please bring it to that person. Don't use social media as a way to put a message, a one-sided message out, because I think that's totally wrong, because nobody knows the story. There's three sides to a story. So, with that being said, if one person only hears one side, so that's, you're not supposed to do that. Communicate. Take that person that you have a problem with somewhere and you talk to them. You talk to them in a healthy manner. You don't sit up here and you don't cuss. You don't do none of that. That's childish. Doing all that shit is childish. You have people out here that can't even express how they feel. They hold it all in and then they take it out on somebody else. I think that's wrong. Everybody is supposed to be able to express themselves in a healthy manner. Period. So, that's really about it. That's all I have. So, to my peoples, welcome to BTV. Um, that one, I just had to get that out. I just had to get that out. I've been sitting back, listening to everybody talk about the Rockets and the Warriors, the Cavs and the Warriors, Drake, and Pusha T. And I'm gonna be honest with you, really, that shit don't even matter. Let's keep it 100. That shit don't matter. What matters is you being on top of your shit. That shit's distractions. It's that shit's a distraction. Yeah, it's entertaining, but it's a distraction. Anybody that's listening or watching this, it's a distraction. What are you doing that you're not distracted from? Because all this shit is distracted. Just distractions. We have a destination that we're supposed to be going, and those distractions will slow us down, period. Even you see me with this Golden State Warriors hat, it's a distraction. Sometimes distractions are needed, sometimes they're not. So that's all. I'm about to sign off right now. Peace. BTV. Be you. Be real. Period. That's all you can do. You can be you and you can be real. That's the motto. Be you, be real. Period. Peace.